Hi, second grade. Happy Wednesday. How's everyone doing? Awesome. Great, great. I'm doing good too. Today, we're going to be talking about estimation. I know, estimation. It's a really cool word. Can you say it with me? Estimation. One more time. Estimation. One more. Estimation. Got all the boys now? Let's hear it. Beautiful. And all the girls? Sweet. Good work, right? Estimation. You're like, Mr. Station, you made us say this word that we don't really know what that means yet. Well, estimation is when we kind of make a guess. Say, this is about this long. It's kind of this long, right? Estimation is a good guess we use based on things that we already know. And to show us an example, there's a little cool video. So let me pull that up for us. Here is this video, and hopefully you can hear the sound, but if not, just some little fun music playing. There's no really talking, so I just want you to look along to see what's going on here.
Huh.
Looks like they're going to the pet store. And there's some dog beds.
Hmm.
Okay, so let's talk about this video. What does this girl want to do? You shout it out. Feel free to shout it out. What does she want to do? Why does she go to the pet store? Yeah, she wants to buy a dog bed for her puppy, right? Now it looked like there was three different sizes she could have gotten: a small, a medium, and a large. Did she bring her dog with her to the store to see which is the perfect bed? No, she didn't, right? How did she try to decide which bed to get? Yeah, she kind of imagined, right? Petting her dog and was like, oh, the dog's about this big. So I need to get a bed that's about this big. Okay, let's see what she does now.
Hmm.
All right, so looks like she used her hand, right, the size of her dog, to think about which bed she could buy. So first she tries the small bed, right? Was the small bed a good size? No, what was wrong with the small bed? Yeah, it was too small, right? Her arms were a little bit bigger. The bed was only about this big, and her arms were out here. How about the medium one? Yeah, it was just about the same size as her hands, right? And how about that large one? Yeah, that was The large bed was too big, right? So which bed do you think she should get? Who thinks, raise your hand if you think she should get the small bed. Okay. Raise your hand if you think she should get the medium bed. Cool. And how about anyone think she should get the large bed? Well, maybe the large bed could work, right? Because then her dog would have a lot of room to get comfortable in. But the medium bed was like the perfect one, right? So I think, and it seems like a lot of you agree, that the medium bed is the perfect bed to get. And that's kind of what estimation is, right? It's when we use, right, things that we know, maybe sometimes our arms or like yesterday, right, our palms, to kind of guess how big something is before we use a real tool like our ruler, right? If we use something, if we measure something with a tool, that's not an estimation. It's exactly 10 centimeters or 1 meter. But if we're kind of using, right, our imagination or some things like our hands, then that's an estimation because it's not perfect, but it's kind of close. And that's a good goal to have, right? And a lot of times in math. So I want us to think about, and if you have your 1 centimeter ruler, please get that out. Okay, please get that centimeter ruler out. Okay, so we have our ruler, right? And we have 1 centimeter, also the same as our 1 centimeter block. All right. Now, do we always have a 1 centimeter block or a ruler in our pockets when we're at the store, when we're at home? Probably not, right? So we might need to use some tools, some things that we already have. Can you think of something on your body that's the exact same size as a 1 centimeter cube? Maybe something on your hand? Yeah, your pinky. Your pinky is about the same size as 1 centimeter, right? So when we're out in the world and you need to buy 1 centimeter of something, you can think about how wide or long your pinky is to get 1 centimeter. And that's what we can use to estimate, right? So for example, if I have this toy car, and it's a little bit hard to see because it's so yellow, that makes it worse. That's a little toy car. And I want to know how long it is, right? And I don't have a ruler where I can estimate with my pinky and say it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? My estimation is that it's 4 centimeters long. Then I can get a ruler out and actually measure it, right? Well, it looks like it's a little bit longer than 4, almost 5 centimeters, but that's pretty close, right? Our goal in estimation is to kind of come up with a number that's a good guess. Because if I'm holding this up, right, if I have a toy car, is 1 centimeter a good guess? No, right? It's much bigger than 1 centimeter. Is 30 centimeters a good estimation? No, 30 centimeters is about this big, right? That's way too long. So we want to say maybe, oh, it's about 4, maybe 5 or 6. And then we can double check, right, with our real ruler. So let's do a couple practice rounds of estimation. I have with me, let's see, this Indiana University card. Okay, maybe I can hold it up to show you how big it is. Okay, it's about this big, not huge. It fits on my forehead like this. How many centimeters do you think this is? And here's what 1 pinky looks like. How many? Come up with a guess in your head. Okay, let's hear it. Let's hear it. What's your guess? Oh, that's a lot of different answers. Raise your hand if you said 5. Yeah, maybe that's not big enough, right? 5 is just that. Maybe 10? Anyone say raise your hand if you said 10? Anyone say 15? Yeah, those are pretty good guesses. Anyone say like 40 or 50? No, that's too long. That's too big of a guess, right? So my guess is that it's going to be about 10. Let's see. Now, after we make our estimation, you can measure it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Almost between 8 and 9 centimeters. Okay, so 10 was a pretty good estimate, right? Maybe 15 was too big. Because 15 centimeters is this one. Okay. How about this pen? And again, this pen, and here's one of my pinkies. How long do you think this is? Come up with a guess. Anyone say 5? Okay, yeah, 5's too low. 10? Well, I know it's longer than this card, right? So it must be more than 10. Anyone say 15? That's my guess, right? Anyone have a bigger number than 15? That's okay too. Yeah, so let's see. Let's measure it. It's like 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, almost 15. Yeah, so 15 was a pretty great estimate. Now it's our turn to practice this. So let's turn to page 61 here. Okay, what you're going to do is you're first going to estimate, right? Maybe you can use your pinkies, or you can just kind of look at it and guess how long you think it is. And you're going to write your estimate here. And then the second thing you're going to do is your measurement. That's the real length. So for your measurement, you're going to need to use your ruler. And remember, you have to go from the very end to the very end, right? Making sure you have a great measurement. And there's 3 different colored pencils. So you might have 3 different estimates, and you're going to have 3 different measurements. Now, if your estimate and measurement is different, that's okay, right? It's a guess. But it should be kind of close. Because for this pencil, an estimate of 20, not that great, right? Because 20 is this long. And that's not very close. So that's why we can use things like your pinky to help you out with having a good estimate of things. So let's estimate and measure these 3 pencils first. And I want you to do that by yourself using first your non-ruler tools and then your rulers. Next, what you're going to do, right, is to turn the page. It says that you're going to measure a marker, an eraser, and a crayon. And you're going to estimate each one and measure each one. Okay, now if you don't have an eraser, marker, or crayon, you can scratch that off and measure your scissors or measure your book, anything else instead. That's okay too. Okay, so let's take another 5 minutes to measure 3 more things. First, estimating and then measuring. Now for each one, let's make sure that you write down centimeters, all right? Blank centimeters. And cm stands for centimeters in this case. So let's all do that first. All right, so you should be done with this, right? Let me do one for my eraser. So my estimate for my eraser is that it's going to be, let's say, 6 centimeters. Okay, so my guess is that it's 6 centimeters, right? I used my pinky to kind of make a guess. I didn't actually measure it. Right, now it's time to actually measure. And I see 5, 6. Oh, that was a great measurement. right? And maybe some of your estimates were perfect. I'm also going to do one for my marker, right? So I'm going to, again, use my pinky and say, I think this might be 15 centimeters. Okay, that's my guess. Then I will use my real ruler to measure that. That's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So it's actually 14 centimeters. And sometimes your measurement is not perfect. Your estimate was not perfect. And that's okay. Because that's what's going to help us do question 5. It says, show the difference in length between your estimate and the measurement. So what I want you to do is pick one of the objects where your two numbers were not the same, right? For me, the marker was not the same. And then you're going to find the difference. How different was your estimate and your measurement? When it says difference, we're going to do subtraction. And here's how we do that. I want you to first find the bigger number. So for me, my estimate was bigger. And write that down. And then you're going to subtract your smaller number. So for me, my measurement was smaller, so I'm going to do 14. And 15 minus 14 is the math I'm going to do. Okay, now here's how I can do that. And just if you know how to do your math, that's perfect, right? Your subtraction. But here's a little review. I'm going to start with my smaller number, so 14. And I'm going to count until I get to my bigger number, 15. So I'm going to start with 14, 15. There's just 1. All right, so I know that 15 minus 14 equals 1. So the difference in length is 1 centimeter. Remember, whenever it says difference, that means I'm going to subtract or minus the number. And you always need to start with the bigger number minus the smaller number. Okay, now, of course, your measurement, your numbers might look different, right? You might have a 2 or a 3, and that's okay too. But that's what difference means. And remember this because this is going to come up in your exit ticket that we're going to do next. And your exit ticket is on page 63. It says, about how long is each object? A sneaker, is it about 2 centimeters or is it about 20? What's the better estimate, right? Think about which is the better estimate for that. 2 centimeters or 20 centimeters. A pen, is it 1 centimeter or 10 centimeters? And a paper clip, is that about 4 centimeters or 40 centimeters? What's the better guess? So I want you to circle that. Number 4, it says Ming estimates the length of his flashlight is about 15 centimeters. He measures it and it is actually 11 centimeters. Show the difference in length between Ming's estimate and the measurement. Show the difference, right? Hopefully you remember what that means. And then you're going to write your answer here. I want to see your math problem being solved here. Okay, and it should look kind of similar to what we did with number 5 on this page. Okay, now let's remember that we're going to work on this exit ticket by ourselves, making sure that you're using, right, working carefully, using all the proper tools, and make sure that you write your name. If you finish early, you can check your work and turn it in, but does not mean you can begin talking with your friends because your friends are hard at work. Okay, so hopefully today was fun working with our estimation, and we'll start on something new tomorrow. But I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday, and I look forward to seeing you in a different video tomorrow. Bye, second grade.